Chelsea take on Ajax in tonight's Champions League match, but can we make it 4 wins in 4? And just who is going to play as striker? Welcome, Blue Believers, to another episode of the Stamford Sync, where we are syncing up with everything Chelsea FC. The music. Can't wait to hear the music. The champions. Exciting match tonight, man. Exciting match tonight. We haven't played Ajax in quite a long time, and it's not a terrible time for us to be playing them, truth be told. They are going through a bit of a rough patch of form themselves. I think they're like 4th in their league at the moment. And if they lose the game tonight against Chelsea, this will be their worst run in Europe since 1988-89 season, where they've lost 6 matches in a row in Europeans' top tier competition. So, a lot of pressure on Ajax, a lot of pressure on Chelsea as well, because we need to maintain momentum, right? This is the really, really important thing for us at the moment, is we beat Benfica, we beat Liverpool, we beat Nottingham Forest. We're on a good run of form, despite all of the injury issues, right? Despite all of the injury issues. But guys, before we get into today's video, good and proper, if you are enjoying the content and would like to see more, please do me the distinct honor of liking and sharing the video, subscribe to the channel, or just roast me in the comments, whatever gets you through your day. Right, so team news. Team news is Chelsea players are injured. Oh, what a surprise, do you know what I mean? Okay, so we are still without Cole Palmer, Levi Colwill, Dario Seago, Liam Delap. Enzo Fernandez is the actual talking point. So he actually trained with the team and is facing a late fitness test for tonight's game. Either way, maybe he gets subbed on later, man, but I don't expect to see him start. I don't think he needs to either, to be completely honest. Like, bearing in mind the kind of Ajax team that we're looking at, I don't think we necessarily need to put our absolute best 100% first 11 out to get a result out of this team. And that's not to put Ajax down. That is just to say the difference in quality is, we've got, the other good midfielder. I'm going to do my match. I'm going to do my predicted lineup. We have another good midfielder that I think can play that position. So I don't expect to see Enzo Fernandez tonight. The other question is going to be like, do we carry on giving players chances after recent good form? So the other obvious piece of team news, João Pedro will not be available for tonight's game because he somehow managed to get a red card at the end of the Benfica game. The red card curse needs to end, doesn't it? But you know what? They're weirdly promising, if you can call it that at all. They're getting later and later in the game, haven't they? They started with Robert Sanchez 5 minutes into the game, and now all of our red cards are coming in the last 5 minutes. So maybe it's working its way out of the game, and tonight can be the night that we actually get through an entire game without a red card. That would be great. Not relevant to tonight, but just a quick, great piece of news is, although Liam Delap will not be available for tonight's game in the Champions League, it looks like he's going to be back earlier than we expected, right? The current projections are that Liam Delap could be back in the first team as early as November. I think I'm going to reserve judgment because, like I said, we've just seen it, man. Do you know what I mean? I've got trauma at this point from players coming back from long-term injuries. Do you know what I mean? Reece James, Romeo Lavia, I think we're just going to have to be careful with them one way or the other. I think Liam Delap is going to be a massive, massive boost to the team when he can come back. But again, as I will get into in my lineup prediction, I think there's someone else there who can kind of carry the weight in the meantime. So let's do it. Let's talk about my predicted 11 for tonight's game against Ajax in the Champions League. We're going to start with the goalkeeper. We always start with the goalkeeper, and it's Rob Sanchez. No particular big bozo moments recently. Do you know what I mean? There was one in the Nottingham Forest game where it was a bit like, ugh. But ultimately, that has regressed a lot from last season, where he was making a couple of those scary little moments. And obviously, he had those 5 big errors that led to goals last season. We haven't really seen anything like that yet. The red card he got in the Man United game is the worst thing. So ultimately, he gets the chance in the sticks today. At right back, I'm going to go with Malo Gusto. And that is largely because Malo Gusto is not going to be available for the Sunderland game because he got sent off at the end of the Nottingham Forest game. And it's just an opportunity to give Reece James a rest, isn't it? Reece James is smashing it at the moment. He's looking so good. And he's really, really grown into that captain's role. But we still need to be careful. We still, an opportunity to rest him is always a good thing. So I do think we'll rest Reece James. Well, that's hard to say. Rest Reece James. Rest Reece James tonight. And Malo Gusto will get that right back spot. I'll hop over to the left back. And I do actually think it's going to be Yoro Hato. So Cucurella is available and, can play. But at the same time, he needs to rest at some point. There's another international break coming up in November and he's just going to keep playing. So for me, if there's an opportunity to rest Marc Cucurella, then we absolutely should. And also, Hato needs to get minutes, right? Not in centre-back, just because we have no other centre-backs. We need some opportunities to play him. And you never know, man. He's going to know a little something about this Ajax team, isn't he? So he'll know who he's coming up against. He will have come up against him a lot in training. So this seems to be a really good opportunity for Yoel Hato to get some minutes. With the centre-back pairing, I'll do them together. I'm going to say Trevor Chalobah and Josh Achiampong. Yeah, I know I'm changing other people here and there, but ultimately, the one thing we haven't had for a really, really long time is a consistent centre-back pairing. We've done really well every time Josh Achiampong's been in the team so far, and Trevor Chalobah has categorically been our best defender of the season so far, who's been the most available and the most consistent. So I think we need to reward Josh Achiampong for his excellent performances, one against Liverpool, the other one against Nottingham Forest. And I just think it's time we start seeing the same centre-back pairing starting to play these games. Trevor Chalobah, not really an injury worry. Josh Achiampong, not really an injury worry. They're young, they're fit, and we need to start building this consistency. And they look great against, Forest. And I think it's time. Do you know what I mean? I think it's time. I know we've got other centre-backs that are available, but I would like to see these two play in this game. And truth be told, I would also like to see them play in the Sunderland game. Next up, we're moving into the midfield for the double pivot. I am going to put Moises Caicedo as the first shout, as always. Without Cole Palmer in the team, he is our best player. Him and Cucurella are the two best players, but Moises Caicedo is up there and categorically best midfielder in the Premier League. I could say categorically. Fight me in the comments if you disagree, but I think Moises Caicedo, not even on his day. Do you know what I mean? He isn't an on his day player. It's just if you've got Moises Caicedo on the pitch, your midfield's going to be better, and it would normally allow for other players going forward to have a bit more freedom as well because he's so good at covering all that ground. But for my other shout, I'm going to put Romeo Lavia. Romeo Lavia didn't start. He started against Nottingham Forest, and he did all right. But that lone six, that Moises Caicedo style lone six, isn't necessarily his best position. Lavia looks absolutely unbelievable when he's got Moises Caicedo next to him. And if Lavia is next to Moises Caicedo hasn't got to cover quite as much ground, which if he's having some injury worries or some fitness issues, which we're always talking about, then A, that's a good thing. And B, it means that Moises Caicedo can potentially open up and get some of those wonder goals in and get a little bit more attacking. And also, I just really, really like the way that Lavia plays, man. Those line-splitting passes are absolutely unbelievable. He's such a good player. And generally, I have always thought that our midfielders look better when we've had Caicedo and Lavia in it. And now that was largely last season that we saw that. Do you know what I mean? But Lavia has been playing his way back into fitness. We haven't seen him do much with Moises Caicedo yet. So I think tonight's a really good opportunity. Especially, I would much, much, much rather do that than risk Enzo Fernandez. Do you know what I mean? So we move into the attacking three. Left wing, I'm going to put Pedro Neto because I think despite also potentially having injury issues recently, he's the most consistent player we've got for that attacking three, and he's so good on either side. Do you know what I mean? He tears it up down the right. He's getting assists and stuff from the left, which I think is really important as well, especially considering who I think we're going to play up top. And Garnacho did okay in the Nottingham Forest game. Jamie Gittins is still looking a little bit like deer in headlights, and he's taken a little while to kind of bed into the team. So I think for this game, Pedro Neto on the left, in the centre of attacking midfield, Facundo Buonanotte, right? Because who else? Do you know what I mean? I mean, there'd probably be a lot of arguments for my right-wing player to play here and for Garnacho or Jamie Gittins to get in on the left. But I think, bearing in mind some of the other changes we're going to make in this, keeping Pedro Neto in the squad is really, really important. And Buonanotte has been okay. He's like a 5 out of 10 so far. Do you know what I mean? He scored in the Lincoln game, but ultimately, even when he's not scoring and assisting, when he's been on the pitch, he's looked good, like a connective centre attacking midfield player. And he was drafted into the Champions League squad after Dario Usuga got injured, exactly for this reason, right? We are having injury issues. Cole Palmer's not available. Facundo Buonanotte is a centre attacking midfielder. And when he's been chosen by Maresca so far, this is where he's played. And I expect to see that continue tonight. And on the right-hand side, he didn't play much. He got brought on at the end of the Nottingham Forest game. It is young Brazilian samba star, Esteval William. I need to see Esteval William get 90 minutes, man. Do you know what I mean? We just haven't seen enough of it, have we? But to say that he was largely rested for the Nottingham Forest game, which I understand because He'd just been on international duty with Brazil. He'd spent a little bit time of that out being injured. Not injured. He had the flu, actually, the little influenza. And then, he got some minutes at the end of the Nottingham Forest game. I would have thought that means that he's kind of fit enough to and ready enough to start this game. And minus Cole Palmer, without, as well, lots of really, really, really strong attacking midfielders and this and that and the other. Like Esteval was just in our best 11 at the moment, isn't he? Truth be told. So it might be a case of we've seen sometimes. For instance, he started the Man United game. Obviously, he was the first one to get hooked when Robert Sanchez got sent off. But he did start on the left that as well. So it's for that game. So it's not even necessarily a case of he definitely is on the right. It could be a case of him and Neto do some swappy swaps. And, Esteval Willian in particular is good at finding himself in other positions on the pitch. And Pedro Neto is also good at recognizing that and kind of substituting, for the spaces for players like Esteval. This is a great game for Esteval to kind of get some minutes. Do you know what I mean? Ajax, not on amazing form. Not a game you can take for granted. Like, it's not Lincoln. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, Ajax are going to present some sort of tough test for sure. But at the end of the day, let's get Esteval some minutes. I really, really, really want to see this kid fire away. And up top, Mark Gue. Let's give Mark Gue 90 minutes. Oh, mate. So obviously I did a video about it recently. It's time to talk about Mark Gue. Now, ideally, I think in the Sunderland game, we want to see João Pedro in the 10, don't we? Because without Cole Palmer, João Pedro is our next best number 10, without a shadow of a doubt. But João Pedro is not available because he got sent off at the end of the Benfica game. So Buenanos obviously gets that spot. But even so, I think Mark Gue needs to start getting minutes, man. Liam Delap's not going to be back until November. We've got a reasonable amount of games. There's still another, 3-4 games after this one to play before the next international break. So I feel if we are going to go forward with the João Pedro and the 10 experiment, Mark Gue has to play up top. And you can see why, man. It's not about the goals and the assists. It is about positionally what he offers the team and his relentless pressing energy. Oh, man, the kid runs. He goes so hard and he creates spaces for other players, right? And that space, that player could be Esteval Willian. It could be Buenanotte. It could be Pedro Neto. It could even be Moises Caicedo if he pops up and does something magical. But at the end of the day, we haven't got anyone on the team at the moment that occupies defenders nearly as well as Mark Gue does. If Tyreek George starts this game, mate, I'm going to be screwing. Oh, mate, I don't know. But I just think, Mark Gue hasn't been an injury or fitness worry at all. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, he was injured last year for a large spell, but that hasn't been the reason that he hasn't been playing. So it's just time to give Mark Gue a chance, man, isn't it? And that chance, like I say, it's not even about, if you put Tyreek George up there, for instance, you're not putting Tyreek George up there to bag goals. Do you know what I mean? You're putting him up there to occupy defenders and create space for your attacking midfielders who have a bit more of an eye for goal. And Mark Gue is just better than that, better at that specific role, don't you think? And also, like I say, we want to see it against Sunderland as well. Mark Gue is young enough. He's still 19. Oh, madness, man. Absolute madness. But Mark Gue is young enough to play this next row of games, especially if you think about it, it's twofold, isn't it? Either Mark Gue plays these games and figures his way into the conversation and creates some headaches for the manager and the board because it's oh, look, we've actually got this good striker here. Or he just covers this stretch of games in order to, help bed Liam Delap back into the team in November as well. For me, it just completely makes sense. We haven't really, we've got the academy player Moeka. This is far too big of a game for him. It just makes sense to me to see Mark Gue start this game in this spot. So that is it, guys. That is my lineup for tonight's game against Ajax. I am going to predict a 3-1 win for Chelsea. I'm feeling good. We are feeling good. We are coming off a good run of form. Ajax not doing particularly well. Other Premier League teams doing well in the Champions League as well. So there's some sort of precedent there. But I would love to know what you think in the comments if you happen to watch this video before the game. Nice one, guys. So tonight, now I made a little mistake in my video the other day. I actually had a bit of a brain fart and I thought the game was yesterday, but it's not. It's tonight. I will be streaming a live watch along tonight for the game, but I will not be doing it here on my channel. I will be hopping over to FFB, Football Fans and Beyond, a Chelsea channel run by my good friend Lewis, an excellent South American creator who has a massive emphasis on live streams, right? That is his kind of thing. Now, he's not available to live stream this game, so I have dutifully agreed to hop in and take over for him, man, and it's going to be fun. So if I was going to do this on my channel and you'd come and watch me, then come and watch me over there, man. Let's get involved in the banter and the chat, and let's talk to some of Lewis's fans as well, man, and see what everyone's thinking. It's going to be a fun time. Lewis is a really good guy. He's got a really, really good channel, so it's all the same content. It's going to be me with a different background, basically. Nice one, guys. I hope you all have an absolutely wicked day. I can't wait to catch up with you, hopefully tonight on FFB. Take it easy. Peace.